Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome, or maybe it's welcome back to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is Talking Heads. Talking Heads are leading experts from around the world who come and present a lesson for us, a presentation that is designed to educate us, enlighten us, and even entertain us. I am so thrilled to have this wonderful team of people. They put so much time and effort into what it is that they do so that we can walk away with really solid information that we can incorporate into our lives. Today, I'm joined by Keegan Daly. This is her first presentation as a talking head, but certainly not her first presentation. She is a holistic registered nurse, an educator, a therapist, and an author. Let's welcome her onto the show. Hi, Jean.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. Hello, everyone.
So nice to have you here, Jean, and thank you so much for being part of Talking Heads. We have the utmost respect for you and are very excited for your lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you, and I'll be backstage, and just enjoy yourself. Have a great show.
Thank you. I am very excited to be here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening. Today, I'm starting the first of a series of talks about holistic health. And actually, all of my talks, which is going to be 12 weeks altogether, is entitled Practical Pathways to Being Your Very Best Self. So we're going to start with understanding holistic you. What does that mean? So many people think that holistic just means taking herbs or taking something other than what they would normally take for headaches. For example, when I was first learning how to present, someone said to me, well, you're holistic, so that means if you get a headache, you can't take an aspirin. That wasn't true at all. I am a nurse. I was traditionally trained as a nurse, but in my heart and in my mind, I always was holistic, even before I even knew that word. And that's because I always knew somehow that we were much more than our bodies. And indeed, that is true. Holistic beingness means, even though we say we are physical beings, human beings, we're not just human doings. So many times people get caught up in everything they're doing and everything they have to do and everything they must do and everything they should do. And they forget that there's so many other parts of them that are all interconnected. So really, we are spiritual beings at our core having a human experience. So we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And oftentimes, we don't really pay attention to the other interconnected parts of us, which are our mind, our spirit, our emotions, our social interactions, our financial situations, our relationships. All of it is interactive. And the cells within our bodies actually are very intelligent. The cells in our bodies communicate with each other. They talk with each other. So when one aspect of us is out of balance, for example, it's going to affect the other aspects of us. So, for example, being a holistic being, if we have, let's say, a headache, all right, that could be that we have some stiffness in our shoulders. That stiffness in our shoulders could be from our posture, okay, physical. that stiffness in our shoulders and the headache that results can also mean that we are thinking too much about what we need to do. We're putting pressure on ourselves. So that would be mental. And we're going to talk about this in a later episode of the 12 that I'll be doing. That thought is always first. So thought is followed by a feeling. A feeling is followed by an action or behavior. And that is followed by an attitude. And if that repeats again and again and again, that becomes a habit. So many times our habits are unconscious. We don't even realize the habits that we are into, which all affects all of us. So I want to go back to the spiritual part of us. Spirituality doesn't really have to do with religion. It doesn't matter if you're a religious person. You can be a religious person and be spiritual, but you can certainly be very spiritual without having religion connected to your way of being. So I'm not here to talk about religion. I'm here to talk about the spirit, the essence that you are, the essence that drives us, that breathes us, that has created us. Some people call that spiritual essence God. Some people call that spiritual essence universe, creator, a creative one, creative energy. All of it is energy. Now, quantum physics has proven that every single thing that we experience, everything that we see, everything that we hear, everything that we are is energy. Energy is a vibration, a frequency, and that frequency can change. So let's say that you're very happy about something. My neighbor next door just became a great grandfather for the second time. When I went out for a walk yesterday, he was overjoyed. He was so happy. So that expressed itself through his smile, through the way he was walking, through the way he was communicating. And his whole spirit, we would say, was alive and well and happy. So I am sure that even though he has some physical challenges, that this helped him to just not feel that discomfort in wherever he was might be having a physical challenge, um, even though that physical challenge is still there. So let's say it was his back or his knee. He, in that moment of feeling so elated about his great news, he was really just coming alive and feeling so happy and feeling very present to everything. His mind, his body, his spirit, his emotions were all on the same vibrational wavelength. Now, on the other hand, if someone is experiencing a real difficulty in their life, it could be an illness that they just found out they had. It could be um, an accident that they just had or learned of someone that they're very close to that is not in a good place. It could be the death of someone that they love and care about. They are going to feel that in a very different way. They may be very sad. They may even be angry. They may be at a loss. And so their energy, their vibrational frequency is going to be more restricted, more restricted because of what they're feeling and going through. Now, there's so much to learn about how we have some control in whatever space we're in with what's happening in our lives. We are, again, spiritual beings, meaning that that's on our core and that animates us through life, having physical experience as a human being, often a human doing. And that experience of whatever we're going through in this lifetime can either elevate our vibration or deplete our vibration. We do have control over how we can elevate that vibration from a low level. And that's some of the things that I'll be talking about as we go on with this series. But for right now, holistic means all of ourselves, everything interconnected. And I will say this again and again, but I will say it now for the first time, that true health is when our body, mind, emotions, spirit are flowing at a higher vibration rhythmically and harmoniously with everything around us and everything within us. That is true health, and that's what we aspire to, even through all of the trials and tribulations of life. And certainly we know that in this world chaotic scene right now, with so many things happening and so many people being distraught about so many things, not to even mention the COVID virus, which was a pandemic, and still is, even though it's getting better. People need to know how they can control some of their feelings, some of their thoughts, some of their ways of being, some of their emotional and spiritual patterns. So, all of the things that we know are that everything is energy. And if you don't know that, then I'm here to tell you it's true. I've been a holistic nurse for before it was even known holistic, but I've been a nurse actually for 57 years, and it's been just a light in my life. I was aware that when someone I was caring for example, in the hospital, there were many instances when I was trained, everything was kind of segregated, you know. So I went into a patient one time and she was crying. She was going to have surgery the next day on her neck, her cervical spine. And she was crying, and I went in and just soothed her as best I can, asked her if she was having pain, and she said not really. What was really bothering her was her fear about the surgery and about recovering because she had three little girls at home. Her husband was overseas in the military, and her mother in law, who was disabled, was taking care of her little girls. And she just didn't know how she was going to cope with all of this. She did need the surgery. So I stayed with her and just let her cry, let her talk about her feelings, and helped her to learn how to breathe properly so that it would be relaxing for her. I helped her to um, just know that she was safe in this environment and that we would do whatever we could as a medical team to help her with some of the feelings of support that she needed, especially when she was recovering and going home. And that calmed her and soothed her. The thing is, I was told in those early days, this was in the 1960s, 1970s, that what I should have done is called a psychiatrist. Well, to me, there was no need for a psychiatrist. Her physical pain, her physical um, struggle was complicated and intensified by her emotional and mental feelings, her worries, her grieving at having to have this surgery done, her responsibilities that she felt she couldn't do at home. So everything is interacting. As she calmed down and started to trust that things would work out for her, we said a little prayer, an affirmation actually. So to me, prayer is not something that you have to memorize. It isn't something that you need to have as formal. It is talking to the spiritual part of you, that essence of God, that essence of creativity that is within you, and saying, thank you for helping me in this situation. Thank you for helping me know how I can handle this. And when we talk about meditation, which we will at some point in this series, meditation is really listening to the ideas that come. And they come from that spiritual essence that is you. You need to be still and quiet and trust that we are spiritual beings that have everything that we need to know within us. Most of the time, that not knowledge, that universal awareness is buried, and it's buried behind or beneath our attachment to everything physical in this world, where we forget who we really are and we focus so much on the physical, what we're feeling and what we're thinking, and we're worrying, and we have to do this and we have to do that. And all of us go through that. And it doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that that's part of our physical reality, and yet we have resources. We have resources to help us. And that is really what I'm going to be talking about during this 12-week series. So, holistic is, to me, adjunctive. When I have a headache, and the headache is really intense, for example, yes, I can make sure that my posture is good. I can do some exercises. I can do some, take a hot bath. I can do a lot of things we'll talk about in time that will help ease the headache. I also can take an aspirin. It doesn't mean either or. It used to be called, when I was first learning this so many years ago, it used to be called alternative, and people were afraid of that. People were afraid, like, oh my God, you're going to tell me to take herbs, you're going to tell me to just ignore it, or you're going to tell me to just do positive thinking. No, those can be helpful, but that's not what holistic means. Holistic means combining our resources of knowing what we're feeling, knowing what we're thinking about what we're feeling, knowing how we're feeling about what we're feeling, and knowing that we have a spiritual resource to call upon to help us understand this. So, every illness we know, and we're going to talk about stress later on. Stress is something that all of us know very, very well. Distress is what leads to strain, and strain is what makes the body so uncomfortable and what puts all of us at risk of having disease. And disease, with a name attached to it, actually starts with dis-ease. So we'll go into that in much more focus later on. But for now, I want you to just understand that your thoughts and your feelings really impact the way you are, the way you react in the world. You can either react, which means reacting the same way again and again, or you can respond and say, I wonder what this is about, and I wonder what I can actually do about this right now. So, holistic is who you truly really are. And I've experienced this throughout my entire life, learning more and more about my holistic self, learning more and more about how to teach people how to recognize how they are interacting with all the parts of them and what they can have control over and what they necessarily don't have control over. So, I have brown eyes. And if I wanted blue eyes, there's really not much I can do about that. I have brown eyes. I would like to not have to wear these glasses, and I don't wear glasses except for when I am looking at the computer, when I am reading. And that helps me. So I just accept that. Okay, even though I'd rather not, just accept that. So the holistic energy being that we are also means that we can recognize if we have a vibration that's very low. So when, for example, you're listening to, say, a news channel again and again and again, and you're feeling upset about what they're talking about, or you're listening to music that's really intense and annoying and has words in it that are not comforting at all. They are just words that are making you realize they're making you feel badly, or you realize they're making you feel angry, or they're making you feel anxious. Um, you have control over that. So you can turn off that news because maybe you can't do anything about what's happening. You can do things like take a deep breath and say, I am choosing to focus right now on sending the vibration, the energy, the frequency of love to that area. And because we're all connected in this spiritual matrix, we are all connected. And quantum physics has proven that. Everything is interconnected. We do have an impact then when we're just sending love to a situation, including ourselves. So when you're angry, allow that to be. Allow that to be. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to stay there. There are ways that I will show you later on in this series of how to deal with certain emotions. I have practiced in private practice with clients for many, 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 many years. I've taught many, many times different courses and classes to many people who have been in all different kinds of situations. I've been a hospice nurse, so I've been with people that are dying and their families. And always, always, there's something that you can do to change your vibration, change your feeling, that will help your physical body. It will help your mood, your emotions. It will help you recognize your thoughts. Okay, so I'm also an author, and I've written a book entitled Reflections of a Seasoned Soul, which are all my true stories of everything that I have, not everything, but many things that I have experienced and witnessed and gone through myself to advance in this understanding. And one of the comments that I make in the book is a little example. I've heard people so many times say, oh, I got this plant for a gift and I just have a black thumb. I can't grow anything. Well, that thought repeated again and again and again becomes a belief. And so that belief is going to manifest itself. That person is not going to be able to grow anything as long as that person believes that. And that might sound very simplistic, but I will show you ways that that is really true in many, many ways. And the other example I have is that um, flu season, virus season. It's advertised on TV, just like this COVID virus. It's advertised on TV, and people are very afraid. Now, you can stay in fear, but you have a choice. You can say, what can I do to honor myself, protect myself, and do what I can to stay safe and to stay healthy. And you do what you can. You do what you believe you can do. You do what you believe in. And if you get sick, honestly, that just that action of doing what you believe you can do to help yourself will mitigate and lessen the effect of that, if you do get sick, it'll lessen it. So there's so much to understanding how we are holistic beings by how we think and how we feel and how we behave and how we believe. And always there is a spiritual resource that helps us to be able to to help ourselves grow and understand and be all that we can be, our very best self, no matter what our circumstances. And that's been proven by so many people in the world. I feel as though I have done this so many times and it just gets stronger every single time. So I am happy to share with you all the things that I've learned, all the things that have made an impact in my life, in my healing, in my growth, in my understanding. And you are no different. Those who are watching, those who are listening, you have the same resources. You do, no matter what your situation is. So there's always the ability to have understanding. There's always the ability to learn how to love yourself for who you are. There's always the ability to forgive yourself. And again, we'll talk about that as a separate series in the show. And also, I want you to know that there's a quote from Henry David Thoreau, and I'm going to read it so I can make sure I get all of it. And this is only part of the quote, but I just love this. If one advances confidently in the direction of one's dreams and endeavors to live the life which he or she has imagined, he or she will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. And what that really means is that the universal resources, the energy, will just come to you to help you. You will either find a book, or you will have someone call you, or you will see a show, or you will bump into someone that you haven't seen in a long time and they'll just tell you something, and all of a sudden it clicks. Like, wow, I didn't think of that before. I can do that. I can try that. And this resource is so powerful and so strong. And again, it doesn't really have to do with religion. It can, but it doesn't have to. It can just be that you are truly understanding the spiritual resources, the mental resources, the emotional resources that you have to elevate your own energetic vibration to a higher level, that you're able to cope more easily, you're able to find solutions more easily, that every day you can say, the part of the solution that I need today is coming to me. I'm allowing it to come to me. So I want you to know that there's always hope. You can do anything that you have. You can say the affirmation, I will do what I can with what I have, knowing that I always have way more than I am now aware of. And that's what comes from your spiritual resource. The energy inside of you, the vibration inside of you that animates you through life, that has created you to be the being that you are, to learn and understand and grow, to be the very best you. So I leave you with that today, and I thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week. I will be very happy to share as much as I can in this time that I have with you. And I want you to know that you are all wonderful, beautiful human beings in your own way, in your own right, and you deserve to feel as well as you possibly can. Thank you very much.
Well done, Jean. That was excellent. And I really related with what you said. And obviously, you've so much experience and you're a natural presenter. Just fantastic. Really a great lesson. And something clicked with me, which I'll talk to you about later about in my own life. That's something that you said. So what you're doing is working and making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Jean, we'll look forward to having you back next week, as you mentioned. And for our friends who are just joining us, you can go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV, and you can watch all of the Talking Head shows. They are all in the Talking Head playlist. The ones from today will be there tonight, and you can watch as many times as you'd like and take away all these brilliant gems and tips that our experts are providing. All right, Jean, thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. I'll be looking forward to it. Bye.
Excellent. Well done, Jean. Bye.
Yes, bye.
All right, folks, a few quick announcements as I have to run to a board meeting. I just want to make you aware of the fact that we have 2 new shows coming up starting this week, and they're definitely shows that you're going to want to see. The first is all about film and music, and this is our show graphic. It's the film and music show from Hollywood to Pinewood Studios to Nashville to Broadway to West End. We have incredible people, performing artists and directors, producers. So it's all about the film industry and the music industry. Our next new show, also starting this week, is Adversity to Awesome. This is also the name and cover of my new book, which is coming out April the 4th. I've been working on it diligently with Red O'Laughlin, who is also one of our talking heads and team members. So if you have an incredible story to share about adversity that you've overcome, and you're awesome now because you're out there helping the world and giving back to others, we'd love to have you on our program. Just go over to our website, USA Global TV, and sign up for either one of these programs or any of our others. And then finally, we have a brand new course. I do teach courses on the power of listening. We have 5 courses so far. This is a brand new one, which is the Power of Listening Part 4. And it really relates a lot to what Jean was talking about. This is called the transition, facing the shadows of ourself. And what this means is, if you're familiar with the term 3D, living in a 3D world where basically we make decisions based on our ego, a capitalistic, materialistic world, it's all about me, as opposed to 5D, which is more of a spiritual world. It's all about following our inner heart, our intuition, doing what we can for our communities, for our environment, for our planet, for each other. That's 5D. But what do we do in the middle? We are aware of how we're living. We know where we want to go. How do we face our own shadows living in the 4D world? So Madeline Chan will be facilitating this with me. If you've taken part 3 with her, you know what a joy it is and how many emotions and feelings come out. So you can go over to my website, drjacqueline.com, or to Eventbrite to book for the Power of Listening Part 4, the transition, facing the shadows of ourself. Okay, that's all we have for today. Thank you again. It's been a banner week of broadcasting. We've still got 2 days left. So please, again, go onto our website, find the talking heads. Jean's there, her bio's there, her picture's there. You can watch the shows there, or go to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow. Take care. Thanks, Jean.